best way to make Magic into a fishing game? I've always gravitated towards Ylira, Master Polymorphist. By sacrificing a creature, Ylira flips the top card of your library until she hits a non-legendary creature. Build your deck right, and you can have all the hits in your deck be big, cool fish, and the rest be non-creature spells that can create bait for her to sacrifice. When I first built this deck, I tried to limit my sacrifice fodder to things that thematically feel like bait. Mostly, it ended up creating Thopters, which I treated as lures. The thing is that Ylira is pretty expensive, and then needs additional mana to do her thing, and on top of that, her toughness is so low that Incidental Ping clears her without a lot of investment from your opponents. Ultimately, it never performed well, and when it did land, it didn't feel worth all the setup. Fast forward a year, and I built a new deck that goes all in on polymorph effects in the 99 instead of in the command zone. To do so, I expanded the color identity into red and removed the limitation of what counts as bait. Now the theme is whatever gets sacrificed is just gone fishing, as it were. They're probably fine. My first build had only 3 hits in the entire deck. 3 big cool fish to make sure I'm hitting something with impact. And to make sure that after I spin into my first fish, I can keep going, each of them creates a couple tokens when they enter. I do miss the big silly leviathans and whales I used in Ylira's deck, but they really tend to just be a big single body and don't impact the game too much. What's really fun about opening up the color identity to red is that I can include the Frostfair lure fish. This massive angler from Doctor Who that makes 2 more fish and 2 tapped treasure when it enters. It's awesome, and it makes the extra color so worth it. So I tinkered with the deck until I had a chance to play it, and while I didn't expect it to actually perform well, I thought it would be pretty funny. I was actually pretty worried that it might be kind of boring after the 3 fish were depleted, or that future games with the deck would have no appeal playing exactly the same each time. But playing the deck was honestly the most fun I've had playing Commander. The controlled randomness means that while you're promised something good, you still get some variety. The polymorph theme extends to your removal, giving you a lot of interaction that I usually otherwise skimp on. There are a number of graveyard shuffling effects that once the board gets wiped, you're not just dead with no creatures left. And the Frostfair Lure Fish itself was just so much fun to play. Other than polymorph, the rest of the deck is full of cloning spells to propagate my fish army and a couple of top-end payoffs for if I end up ramping into higher mana value spells. This is especially useful considering the commander. Meet Kazah, Royal Shaper. Doesn't she look like she'd enjoy fishing? I picked Kazah as a cheap commander that doubles as a pseudo mana dork. The idea is that you can play her on turn 2, then tap her on turn 3 to discount an instant sorcery spell by 1, then immediately send her off on a fishing trip using a 4 mana polymorph spell. She returns to the command zone, bringing her catch with her, ready for the rest of the game. Now, I'd prefer not to have Kazah actually be the one getting sent fishing, so there are a number of non-creature spells that create tokens, but always having access to her means I don't need to rely on drawing them. And once the first fish is caught, we can use the hanger-ons to catch more. Kazah's ability lets her discount your next instant sorcery spell by the number of wizards you have. As a wizard herself, she starts out only giving you a discount of 1. But by fishing up a Benthicore, that discount increases by 2, and if you clone it, you can be cheating out some very big spells to close out the game. This means if we need to recast Kazah from the command zone, the tax isn't even that bad since she can immediately start applying the discount to offset the cost. All in all, I was incredibly surprised that this deck worked at all outside of goldfishing. And due to the nature of how it was built, it had a lot more interaction than I realized, allowing me to always feel relevant to the state of the game. Every time I played a spell that didn't just send one of my creatures fishing, but polymorphed a piece on each of my opponent's table too, we all got to go fishing, and it was glorious. While my goal was to make a fishing deck, the basic shell could really be used to cheat out anything if you want to rebuild it. If you do, I recommend cutting the fishing pole. It's really just there for flavor. Even though it does make fish tokens that you could sacrifice, it's really slow and awkward. That said, Benthicore probably still does make the cut, regardless of what you're trying to cheat out, since the wizards it creates synergize so well with Kazah to set up for those late game plays. If you do end up giving it a shot, good luck and happy hunting.